Over 1,900 years ago, Legio 9 Hispana, Rome's elite legion, vanished from the records. For centuries, we believed they were wiped out in Britain. But in 2025, brand new evidence is rewriting their story. Are we closer to uncovering the truth? The story of Rome's 9th Legion begins over 2,000 years ago. Formed in the turbulent 1st century BC, they first served under Julius Caesar himself, marching across Gaul and into Britain during Rome's brutal conquest. The 9th wasn't just a fighting force, it was a symbol of Roman iron will. They helped suppress the revolt of Queen Boudica in 60 AD, a rebellion that nearly wiped out Roman control in Britain. And as a warning to all who would resist, they helped lay the foundations of Eboracum, modern-day York, fortifying it as a stronghold in the north. Their last known footprint? A dated inscription in Eboracum, carved around 108 CE. After that, nothing. No battles. No documents. No records. The 9th Legion, Rome's elite warriors, simply vanish from history. The 9th Legion, once Rome's iron fist in Britain, simply vanishes. By the year 120 CE, their name is gone from every record, every military roster. No scrolls. No honors. No graves. And that silence. It echoes louder than any battle cry. Theories rose like smoke from a dying fire. Some claim they marched north into the mists of Caledonia, modern-day Scotland, where savage tribes like the Caledonians waited. Perhaps it was near Mons Gropius, where a brutal campaign left tens of thousands dead. Could the 9th have been ambushed in the highlands? Cut down to the last man in a place so remote, even memory couldn't find them? Others believe they were quietly disbanded after a devastating defeat. A bureaucratic cover-up to spare Rome the shame. Still more argue they were transferred, not destroyed, and later perished elsewhere in a forgotten frontier far from Britain. Yet the most chilling theory? They weren't lost by accident. They were erased deliberately by an empire that couldn't stomach the truth. A ghost army swallowed by silence. No bodies. No tombstones. Only whispers. And questions that still haunt us nearly 2,000 years later. For centuries, the fate of Rome's 9th Legion remained locked behind legend and speculation, until now. In 2025, high above the mist-covered hills of Aberdeenshire, Scotland, modern eyes turned to ancient ground. From the sky, fleets of LiDAR drones scanned the dense forest canopy near Benay. What they uncovered shattered silence and rekindled an ancient fire. Beneath layers of moss and peat, the landscape revealed its buried truth. Massive linear formations, once invisible to the naked eye, emerged like echoes from the Roman past. Defensive ditches, Roman-style earthworks, the unmistakable geometry of a well-fortified military camp. Excavation teams, fueled by the digital maps, moved in. At the heart of the site, stone baroque foundations, blacksmithing forges, Roman iron nails and coins, scorched and scattered. Each fragment whispered of haste, of conflict, and retreat. But it was the discovery that came next that shook the world of classical history. A corroded brass pendant, marked with the faded emblem of Legio 9 Hispana, lay buried beside charred timber. Not alone. More fragments soon followed, tent pegs, belt buckles, weapon parts, all stamped or engraved with 9. The evidence told a new story. The 9th Legion was not annihilated in a single blow, as many once believed. They likely withdrew, battle-worn, possibly pursued, but alive. Not lost in legend, not erased by Rome, but buried beneath the earth, and now finally rising to speak. After nearly 1,900 years of silence, the ground beneath Benahi echoed with a whisper. We were here. So did Rome's 9th Legion die heroically in the Scottish mists, or simply vanish? For centuries, storytellers painted the 9th's fate in sweeping brushstrokes. Glorious battle. A noble last stand. An entire legion wiped out in the highlands. Films like The Eagle and historical novels fed this fire, romanticizing their disappearance into a kind of martyrdom. But truth, it seems, rarely cares for drama. In 2025, boots on the ground found no mass grave. No scorched weapons scattered in panic. No human remains suggesting annihilation. What archaeologists did find was quiet. Roman fort blueprints. Tent pegs. Forged tools. All signs of an organized presence and an even more organized departure. So what really happened? The evidence points to this. A tactical retreat. A reassignment. The 9th wasn't slaughtered. It moved, perhaps south, back into Gaul, or even east. Records hint at their presence in the Rhine frontier. And that's where the story changes. The idea of total disappearance? That's not history. It's politics. Rome couldn't admit it had failed to pacify the north, that a native resistance in the far reaches of its empire had forced a full legion to withdraw. So they buried it, erased the logs, let silence cover the shame. And as Rome fell silent, legends spoke louder. But in the soil of Benahi, the myth ends. What's left is far more human. Not glory, not disgrace. Just men following orders, marching home through the fog. The lost ninth might not be lost, but hidden in history's shadows. In 2025, we didn't find a final stand. We found a story of survival, silence, and imperial silence. What else lies buried beneath the soil of time? Subscribe to Forgotten Realms to unearth history's buried truths.